We want you to repair your ECUs before they fail, and we're going to show you why. And we're going to reflash some 3UZ ECUs, show you a little bit of mobilizer, and that'll do. G'day guys, it's Calvin, Jason, from the Cartoon Company in New Zealand. I'm about to reflash a couple of ECUs. These are 3UZ ECUs. One of them is going to be reflashed as an automatic, and one is going to be reflashed as a manual. But as part of this repair, one of them that I opened up had a problem. So we're going to have a look at that, and I'll show you some of the things you should look out for when you're checking out your ECUs. Now, I also get told that 3UZ ECUs don't fail. I get told that 1UZ VVTi ECUs don't fail. But that is a total myth. They are starting to fail now. So I recommend, if your vehicle is exhibiting any symptoms, or even as a maintenance, to get this ECU serviced before they stuff out and become non-repairable. A lot of people also say, hey, do a visual check. I've got an ECU here that visually looks absolutely perfect. There is no faults shown. There's nothing exhibited. There's no leaking capacitors. Yet, it is on the road nearly undrivable at times. Intermittently, but at times it just bucks and pops and farts and backfires and is about as fast as a Toyota Corolla. A few moments later, it's beautiful, it grunts and runs perfectly. And changing the ECU in this vehicle solved the problem. I was pretty sure it was when we were diagnosing. So looking in here at the base of these caps, there's no burning, there's no marks, the tracks are intact. This capacitor here, yeah, we've got some focus happening. Yeah, that capacitor there, again, same thing. Nothing visually wrong with this ECU, and yet it had a fault. This one happens to be a Sora, very similar to a SC400. And see this capacitor here, it is leaked. We can see the corrosion on the board. And in the case of this particular ECU, there's actually corrosion that comes along here and disappears under this IC. Meaning to repair this ECU, this IC must be lifted, corrosion cleaned, the capacitor replaced, and this board repaired as well. It's almost not worth fixing that ECU. We know this one needs a repair because I've written on it, it needs a repair. And at a quick glance, it actually looks pretty good. For those of you that were paying attention, you will have noticed just at the bottom of this one. See right there? Ever so slightly, there is gunge going down that leg, causing a little bit of a greenness on the bottom of the leg, showing that that one also needs a repair. Now as we get into the later ones, so this is a 1UZ VVTi. This was a UCF20. You can see that it has suffered water damage, which is a problem. And I see this quite a lot, getting water in them. But over here, burn marks. Noticeable burns. I haven't bothered to get this one repaired because I do have quite a number of these ones. But that is a 1UZ VVTi. And look at this. In the early ones, these are the fellas that fail, these capacitors. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. Oh, and a big one. 11 of them. And they really are it's just a matter of time before these guys start failing. And we're going to see these as a very, very common repair. Where I really wanted to go was this one. And I've got my stack of 3UZ ECUs because I needed to find a replacement. Now really quickly, This one, see there is normally 4 screws in it. This is a 5-speed ECU. And this is the later 6-speed. Only got the 2 screws holding the main ECU into the body of the ECU. So this particular ECU, 3UZ, 5-speed, JDM Celsior. So there's our ECU number, 89661505990. This one is being sold to replace a faulty ECU. The customer has had someone look at repairing it, not us. It has not worked, so I'm sending this ECU that's been reflashed as a replacement. And look at it, it's absolutely lovely. No burning, no corrosion. But look at the number of capacitors on these ones. So this is a 3UZ. And of course these are, again, the capacitors are the thing that fail on the early ECUs. And look how many of them there are in a 3UZ ECU. 14 of them. And it's only a matter of time before these things start to fail on these 3UZs. They already have some poor shift quality, and they're being repaired. I think this one's going to pass for getting a reflash. However, let's check this one out. This was sent to me by a customer for a reflash. Bought an engine. It's in Australia. And straight away, did you spot it? Look at that. Oh, rusty bits. It is the same part number. We go in here, look at that. So this ECU has been sitting full of water in a couple of places. Actually, it's been set that way at one point. Then it's been moved and the water's gone that way. The ECU has been flooded. So it's not a failure as such as because of the ECUs itself. It's failed. It's external contaminant, water. And ECUs really don't like water. And looking at this one, externally there's nothing to suggest that it may have had water in it. But it's totally different when you get inside and see the tide marks. This one is getting replaced. I'm going to check out one of my stock ECUs and reflash it. And this one's getting reflashed as a manual because the 3UZs, of course, can be reflashed. It's really handy at the moment. I have an engine 3UZ set up. Here is an ECU that I'm going to reflash, and it has an immobilizer on it. And this is what they do with an immobilizer. Fire and stop. Now, without disconnecting the key, it's just going to crank and crank and crank. It won't even try to fire. We disconnect the key. That's not actually a key, that's a jump wire. And it'll fire and again. And stop. Let me reflash this one. And we'll test it on the engine. That's on. Put them off on your ears. Yep, that's the right one. The big keyhole. So this one has had the emo removed. Hey, Jace, you don't have to recycle. We've got that aircon on new.
You just told me to.
I did. But we've got it new. You couldn't hear me because you had the earmuffs on.
Liar.
It was the same as a motor VVTi motor plug. So they from 131 Crown, they use the same one on VVTi 1UZ. 4AG.
What about the speed sensor one then?
No, they don't have that one. That's on the loom. So just to recap, 3 UZ ECUs can be reflashed. All the UZ ECU series are failing and do fail. So we recommend getting them fixed before they fail and stuff out and cost a lot more. So service them rather than repair them. So I hope that's been helpful. Talk to you again soon. Catch you later.